Did you like that
Yeah.
countdown? That's pretty
Yeah, no,
sweet.
I
I tried.
did see that. That looked, yeah,
Yeah, my
looked
eyes
all
feel like they're
fancy.
burning a little
Riverside.
bit. I'm a bit tired. All right.
Wait, so what's the time over there for you? It's,
It's a
you
quarter to
say
nine.
8:30? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, quarter
quarter
to
to
nine.
nine.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, but we yesterday ended up being quite a big day yesterday because it's mine and Chloe's 7-year anniversary and our 1-year
Yeah.
anniversary in the UK. So
Oh,
like been
right.
here,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, bro. Same day. We've been here for a year already. So yesterday we went out to this nice place for brunch, and then went out to this camping store, got a new tent. Like I don't know, just did heaps of shit, and I ended up staying up to like 11 or 12 or something last night. So I was a little bit
Yeah.
tired this
So,
morning.
so you've got some camping planned over there.
Yeah, and it's something that we actually really wanted to do before we came over. Like I was watching heaps of videos on YouTube of people who like have rooftop tents and shit and just travel around Europe and the UK and go camping. So it's a big
Yeah.
motivator. But yeah, we bought our packs and stuff over, and it's something that we wanted to do, but we just haven't really prioritized it yet. But there's a mean outdoor shop in town, and yeah, we just went in, bought a tent, and then because it's a long weekend next weekend,
Yeah.
so might take it out next weekend. But yeah, even if we go to like Italy, we want to go to the Dolomites or camping in Croatia or whatever. Now we've
Yeah.
got a
Okay.
small tent.
Because
Yeah,
the Dolomites are North Italy, right? They're
yeah,
just, yeah, just
yeah,
above
man.
like Lake Como area, right? Going on to
Exactly. Yeah,
Switzerland.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
the closest place you fly into Venice, I think, and jump on a bus and then
Yeah. Okay.
go from
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
That was
Because
a
when
dude
I
we were
fly,
watching this morning. Anyway, he did that. But
yeah, well, I flew into when I left London,
yeah,
flew into
Milan was
there's
it?
like yeah, Milan, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, right,
yeah. I
yeah,
think
just below
because
Lake
that's
Como.
quite far north too, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we like I think the bus or train was like a couple of hours to get there,
Yeah.
and then when we went, we were at the bottom of Lake Como and we could see like the Alps in the distance,
Yeah,
which was
man,
sick.
that's
And I was
epic.
like, yeah, and then I saw like a video while I was over there, someone in the Dolomites, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, that's like search where it was, and it was like just above Lake Como.
So close, yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah.
We
And I was like, I guess that when I looked at Lake Como on the map, it was like it was large, like it
yeah,
to get around all the little spots in Lake Como, you'd have to be doing like a multi-day trip. So um,
yeah.
yeah,
That's the
just
thing,
kind of
man. Like
just
once you're
ended
over
up there.
here, you think, oh, I'll pop here, but you could spend like 2 months just in Italy or something, just and you probably still wouldn't even see it all. Then you're like, I want to
Yeah,
go to Italy and
yeah.
Greece and France and like Spain and all these places. Eh?
Yeah, I think like Italy's one of those countries where there's so many different spots to stop and visit.
Yeah,
Um, there seems to be like a lot of different like cities, and then you've got like all the spots around the coast. It just seems to be like the place that's got all the names, all the
mm,
touristy names. There's
mm,
so many of them that come out of Italy, where some of the other spots might just have like one or two
yeah,
main places that they consider like touristy spots.
yeah,
But that's
yeah,
just from
man.
what I've seen anyway.
Yeah, we have one of our trips that we've booked in for this year is with Chloe's cousin in July to go to Amalfi. We're going to go to Amalfi for
Yeah.
I think 4 days, 5 days maybe, and then I think we're going to Barcelona after that. But 'cause you guys went to Amalfi, eh? When you were there,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So we were there for I think 3 days, 2 nights. It wasn't a big stay, but
yeah.
we just stayed. It was a place called, I might get the pronunciation wrong, but it was like Priano, which
Oh yeah,
was like between Positano and Amalfi Coast or
yeah,
Amalfi. Yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of like in between the two. Um, get get yourself like some scooters for sure.
yeah, man.
Easiest
Like
way to get around the
Vespas, eh?
coast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We're thinking about maybe hiring a boat on one of the days too. You see that you can hire small boats. I thought that would be pretty
Yeah,
fun to
okay.
boost around
Yeah.
on the coast. But yeah, definitely the scooters. That looks
No
so
swell there,
fun.
so you got nothing to worry about
Yeah,
for
just
it was flat,
5 meter
it was
swell.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some fishing rods. All right, maybe we should
Yeah.
do a proper introduction now. Mr. Wiley,
Yes,
Brad Wiley,
sounds
we're
good.
here. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today, mate. Second mates episode. It's actually or was exactly a year ago that me and Caleb did ours. Well, it was maybe like just over a year, but I've been getting the
Okay, yeah.
Instagram memories for me and Caleb. But Yeah, bro. Second
I feel
mates
like I
episode.
looked,
Yeah,
yeah, I
you
feel
go.
like I looked at that and it didn't feel like too long ago. It's crazy
Yeah,
that a year's gone by since you've done that because I remember like seeing the podcast and like you guys were, it was quite relaxed and just
yeah,
chilling out and
yeah,
having a
yeah.
good catch up. So
That was funny
yeah,
actually. That weekend, this was like, I don't know, it must have been like 2 weeks before we flew out of New Zealand. But I went up for my sister's graduation, and in a backpack, I had my nice clothes for her graduation. I had 2 microphones, a camera to do the podcast of Caleb. It was just such a funny weekend. But
yeah,
yeah, man, second mates episode. So I'm still deciding on what I think is a kind of a good structure for these, because obviously we want it to be pretty relaxed. We don't want it to be super formal, but then we want it to have some kind of structure, so it's not just us talking shit for an hour and a half. It probably still will
yeah,
be that, but
it's all right.
at least some kind of structure. So where I thought we could start is just you describing your current location and occupation, starting with the
Righto,
tough
okay,
tough questions.
yeah. Well, like so in the Gold Coast now, obviously moved over fairly recently,
Yep,
um, from being in small town Whakatane for many years,
yep.
only leaving for university and then heading back. So
Mm.
a big change. Um, really nice though, like a good change. Nice to be in some all year round beautiful weather. So it
Yes,
doesn't get
bro.
cold here, which is nice. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, it just feels like a big New Zealand when you
Mm.
just like when you analyze it. It's just there's just a lot going on, but you still feel like you're kind of at home. You're only 3 hours away, so it's not too bad.
Mm.
Still doing the same thing I did back home, doing the real estate gigs. So
Yep.
just over 4 years now in that industry, and starting again is a little bit of a little bit of a refresh to what it was 4 years ago, kind of building that database and
Yeah, man.
meeting people, meeting potential clients. But I guess it comes naturally from being out and about, and you just kind of meet people that you gel with, and you go from there. And if they're in the industry, if they've got property that they're looking to buy or property to sell, and you gel with them, and they decide that you're the person that they want to deal with when the time comes to do a transaction, then so be it. But until then, like it's a slow start, and
Mm.
I've kind of expected that. But it's good to jump in with a firm here that's got a database to work from. So
Hmm.
it's not exactly cold call, but there's some sort of warm touches there with some clients that Rachel's had in the past. So it's all good.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I'm interested actually, maybe later in the episode to get into your business stuff and what it was like starting originally and then restarting. But maybe taking a little step back. And you mentioned obviously growing up in Whakatane, which is obviously where we know each other from. How, when do you reckon we became friends? Like what year was it? I was trying to think
I was
like
literally just thinking
today.
about this before we jumped
Yeah.
on the potty. Um,
So like
it would have it would
maybe
have it would have been right at the beginning of high school,
it must have been, Like year nine.
year nine, year 10, year nine,
Yeah.
probably as much as I wasn't a good volleyballer like some
Mm.
in the school.
Yeah.
Still
Well,
obviously did volleyball in year nine.
Yeah.
You've got yourself there.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Hey, I wasn't
but I
that
think
good
we
either,
might have,
but it's all right.
yeah, we might have met through volleyball,
Yeah.
possibly. Thinking back to it, it
Yeah.
might have been the first sport that we did together. Obviously, like it was new to me, it was a new sport to
Oh,
me.
that's right. Yeah.
And I was in the juniors in the first year in year nine. I didn't do it in year
Yeah.
10, but it might have been volleyball. That's
Yeah.
what I was
Must have
thinking
been.
anyway,
Let's
or
lock that in.
class. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll go
I'll
with
believe you.
volleyball.
Yeah, let's lock that in.
Yeah,
Nice one.
yeah.
But
Sorry, mate, just having a bit of an issue with the
what's
earpod. It keeps falling out. That's
you're
all right
right.
though. We're good.
You're good.
Yeah,
You
all
safe to
sweet.
continue?
Yeah, mate, 100%.
Okay. Right. So from more of a like a macro level, how do you reckon growing up in a small town like Whakatane kind of shaped you into the person that you've become?
Um,
When I was
I
thinking
guess
this,
it just
maybe I give you a few
no.
prompts that I was kind of thinking of things like your dad's car yard, obviously school, the sports that you did, all of those kind of things, and obviously it being a small town and stuff as well. Like all of those
Yeah,
kind
yeah. I
of
guess
things.
there's a few ways you could look at how different parts of your life growing up in a small town
Mm,
shape shape who you are today,
mm,
or how you've taken on certain challenges or certain quests, I guess, in your life. So
yeah,
obviously, being from a small town, it's very easy to get to know a lot of people very quickly and get to know like most people.
yeah.
But I'll touch later on how I thought I knew a lot of people in Whakatane until I did a certain job and realized I didn't know many people at all. But you just have like a sense of community growing up in a smaller town that
Yep.
you kind of just feel like you can just go everywhere and anywhere and feel safe.
Mm,
You're just gonna bump into somebody every sort of 5 or 10 minutes and see a familiar face, or chat to a person that you've regularly seen around. So um, I guess it gives you that sense of security
hmm.
growing up in a small town. But then again, you got to step out to sort of the bigger, wider world at some point, and that probably has the opposite effect
Yeah.
when you start to take on those bigger journeys, moving country, and obviously the likes of yourself going to Manchester. It's like
Yeah.
it's a big step. I guess moving to cities while we were at university probably helped that,
Yep.
but we've got a good friendship. We've got a good friend group, so quite a tight friend group as well. So you kind of that that's built from being in a small town,
Yeah.
and
Right.
regardless of where you are in the world, that friendship group's always going to be quite tight. So
Yeah.
I guess you feel, with today's connectivity across platforms and whatnot, you always feel somewhat connected and close to somebody.
Yeah. That's well said, man. I remember moving down to Wellington, which has maybe like 300,000 people. I suppose that's 10 times as big as Whakatane. Maybe it's more. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's less than a
Mm.
million. It's not that big for a city, but
Hmm.
I remember it feeling massive. Like it felt like such a big city to move to from somewhere like Whakatane, where if a red GTO goes past, it's probably Brad. Whereas in
Yeah,
Wellington, you see a red
true.
GTO go past, it could be anyone. Like
Yeah,
you're from this place where if you go out, if you go to Pack and Save in Kopi, you're probably going to see at least 3 to 5 people that just at the supermarket. Whereas when you go out, like you move cities or even countries, obviously a bigger one, like you said, but
yeah.
you realize how much of a number you become, right? Whereas like that
I was
small
I
town.
was I was gonna say, you kind of look at it and go, no one gives a fuck about me, like
No.
in the big city, you know what I mean? Like, to put
Yeah,
it bluntly, like
exactly, bro.
you
Yeah.
can walk by and nobody gives a fuck,
Yeah.
like you're
Yeah.
just a number.
Yeah. Especially like
Which
you
is
go to
not a
somewhere
bad
like,
thing though.
nah, nah. But you go to like London or something like that, and you just feel that to the extreme. Like in Wellington, after being there for a few years, you build some networks and you feel way more familiar. But the bigger the city gets, the more you're just like, oh, okay, I'm just another number walking past, and people don't really give a shit.
Yeah, and like every time you could walk the same path on the same time of the same day in a big city, but you'll never bump into the same group of people all the time. Like
Mm,
where you could do that back home, and you're normally like gonna bump into the same faces if you're doing the same thing at the same time.
yeah,
You do it in a city, and it's like you just see new different faces every day. You're
yeah.
doing the same thing, but it's like kind of just shows how large the move is from a small town to a big city.
Oh yeah. And specifically in Whakatane and you kind of upbringing, what were some of the key things that kind of stand out to you that sort of shaped your upbringing? Like I mentioned, those few things kind of came to my head for you, but for you in hindsight, reflecting on it, what are some of the big key things in your life? Not necessarily events, but more so just like, I don't know, big things that were in your life growing up.
I think like for me, a lot of it was sport. Like
Mm,
I was just really into sport. I was a sporty kid. I
yeah,
love to try, so many different sports and you know, try my hand in all those different disciplines and see whether or not something worked and whether or not I was good at it. I think Whakatane probably uh, provided a lot of opportunities. It's a small town, but there's a lot to take from it. when it comes to sport. I think you've got obviously the beach is right there, and a big sport for me is surf lifesaving.
Hmm.
You've got the lakes nearby you've got your river there too, the lakes nearby in Rotorua. Um, so that's like your kayaking and rowing for a lot of people too. Whakatane High School's produced a lot
Yeah,
of good rowers. The hockey, the scene there's good. The Bay of Plenty wide scene's good. Rugby's always been a natural talent out of the Eastern Bay of Plenty. Touch, those sorts of things. Like I didn't play league, but league started to become quite popular when we were
yeah,
beginning our high school. So like I think the sporting side of Whakatane just produces so much talent. It's just getting that talent into the right hands.
yeah. For such a
Post
small
Whakatane.
town too, it is actually pretty wild how much talent it produces. A town of like 30,000 people, the amount of talent, and also, like you say, the opportunities. It's actually pretty crazy considering how small it is.
Yeah, I think we're central. I think we're central to a lot of stuff.
True.
Like we're central to Tauranga, we're central to Rotorua, Taupō's just up the road when it comes to snowboarding or skiing, if that's something that people are interested in. Like there's a lot of stuff nearby, and I just think there's a lot of outdoor opportunities, sports. I guess indoor too. Like obviously we had really good volleyball teams growing up through high school.
Mm.
Um, Netball's always been a big, like I guess any main sport in
Yeah,
New Zealand, you name it, and Whakatane had strong teams.
yeah.
Like
Even
it's
cricket, old Hamish, one of the best cricketers to
yeah,
come out of Whakatane.
yes, yeah, him and Pip Thickpenny,
Yeah, man.
two
Yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two will battle it out forever.
Yeah, man. So, but
Yeah.
getting into it a little bit more in terms of the sport, what do you reckon the role of sport played for you in your life growing up in Whakatane?
I've always said that there's one word that really like speaks true to me when it comes to sport. It's probably from the swimming and the kayaking in the early mornings was discipline. I
True.
think I think this when it comes to sport, discipline the sport played a huge impact on how disciplined I was when it came to doing anything. So the commitment I had to getting up and swimming every morning or kayaking every morning. There's some mornings that you don't want to do it. Thanks to mum, she'll push you and she'll get you out there. She's the manager when it came to all my sports, and she was up as early as I was.
Get
So
your ass up.
exactly, she's got up before me every single morning. I'm going out there and swimming, but there's other people behind the scenes who do just as much for you. Your coaches are turning up. I think, I think discipline's like the biggest factor I've taken out of sporting, especially
Mm,
like at a younger age. Obviously, I don't do as many sports as what I did growing up through high school. I
mm.
guess high school provided a lot of time to do many sports. When you get out of it and you start getting into work, you've got to kind of specialize in what you want to do and look at the amount of time you have to do everything. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
discipline's a massive one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
reckon there's something super important because I can resonate with that too. I reckon there's something super important about learning how much you can handle and what your true capacity is, especially at such a young age. If you're getting up at 5 or whatever, going to train, going to school, then afterwards you're going to the gym or training or going for a run, and you're doing that super early in your life, you learn at a young age how much you can actually handle. So when you get into the workforce and stuff like that, oh, I can go to work and I can also go to training or go to the gym or whatever. And because I think that was a lesson, especially in my last year of school. I think that's what I really learned. And I resonate on that quite a bit in terms of learning that at such a young age, you've already set a standard for yourself.
And yeah, 100%. I guess for you, when you're looking at your last year of school, you took a big leadership role with school, obviously being our head boy.
Mm,
So there was a lot of a lot more going on in that last year of school that you had to juggle.
mm,
So you definitely tested yourself as to what your capacity was, and finding out how much you could do
mhm.
and how much was too much, and finding out whether or not you had to start. I guess that comes down to time management. Time
Yeah,
management's a big thing as well.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm terrible at it. as
Oh
though
yeah.
like
Bro, I
I'm
reckon you're
terrible
one
at
of
time
the like
management.
most organized people that I know. Like, if I'm going to organize something with you, like a podcast like this, it happens. If I'm going to organize to meet you at the pub at 6 p.m. next Friday, you're just going to be there. If I wake up real dusty and at 7 a.m. in Coastlands and I need you to come pick me up, you're going to come be there. That's so interesting that you say you're bad at
Yeah,
time management.
okay. I guess another way to look at it is I probably don't. Um, I, I might make everything work. I
True.
probably don't have
Like
a
a structure or
structure.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah, yeah.
structure, but like I manage it, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. I don't have the structure there. I might not, like, obviously some people are religious with using calendars and like
Mm.
everything's an alarm on their phone and they are like to the T.
Got
And
the
then
to-do lists and shit.
some people have got 6 things to do in a day and they get one done and then they've got 12 the next day. That's just
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I make sure I get things done.
Yeah.
But I think I don't have a structure there, so I feel like I'm not managing my time very well.
Fuck.
If that
That's
does that make
honestly so
sense?
surprising to me. Because in my
Yeah,
mind, you're like one of the most like on time organized people that I know. Like
I'll,
if
I'll
we
take that
organize
as a
something,
compliment,
it's gonna
Danny
happen.
boy.
Like we're at
Yeah,
Zaget. Who's getting us on the trains and the
yeah, that's
buses
true.
to get it? Mr.
Yeah,
Wiley is at the front with his phone. Like that's
got
wild,
it
bro.
all
I'm
sorted.
honestly so surprised that you have that perception of yourself. But I guess I can still see the difference between, yeah, I get there on time, but everything isn't necessarily itemized and structured and has a time slot. But
Yeah. I guess yeah.
mm,
That's how I look at it, and that's why I think I might not have. I think I could do better if
yeah,
that makes more sense. I think I
I,
could do better. I think there's still room for improvement, but that's going to be in everything. I guess there's always room for improvement.
yeah,
There's always
I don't
room
ever
to
think you
grow.
can not improve on something like organization and time
Yeah,
management. Wow, that's interesting, man.
technology helps a lot with that too, because there's always something new coming out year after year, and there's an easier, faster way to do something, a more efficient way to do something. So
Yeah, man.
yeah, you're always
Another
going to be
thing,
able to improve on it.
that's right. Another thing that I reflect on in terms of, especially that last year, but yeah, mostly that last year, to be honest, when I was so busy with training and school and stuff, is I reckon that's when I feel the best, is when I have a lot going on and I feel like I'm really occupying my time well, ticking off boxes, improving myself, whether it's fitness or business or whatever it is. I just think, especially in hindsight, that's when I reflect and I really feel the best. Is that the same for you as well? Like when you're super busy, is that when you feel like you're most energized and the best?
Yeah. Like your headspace, you're mentally in such a good space when
Yeah.
you've got things going on and you know that there's activities to be done or there's things to tick off and you're ticking them off. And it might feel like you've got a lot going on, but you're getting through it and it just feels good. You're feeling
Yeah.
like it's like success. Whereas like I'd like that's an interesting topic to bring up right now. Obviously, I've moved over to the
Yeah.
Gold Coast, and I've gone from what I felt like was, somewhat busy at work. I had a lot going on. I had a lot of buyers to constantly keep in touch with. I had
Yeah.
listings coming up and prospective listings coming on in the future, and I was constantly busy. And I felt like my days were full and I felt great at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
although you might go, oh, like, yes, the day's done, but you still feel good because your day's just been like so active.
It's like satisfied,
Whereas,
like a sense of satisfaction.
yeah, 100%. And I've moved here and I've gone back to like square one and
Yeah.
it just feels it's like I feel shit because I'm like, damn, I could do more. Like there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of time in my day and I'm like there's only so much prospecting I want to do before I
Mm.
get sick of it. So I'm like, I want to get back to that point where like I go to work and I'm busy. Like I feel great. I feel like I've had a great day if I'm still dealing with clients at 9 o'clock at night, because I
Mm.
know that I've got to catch up with some vendors who just can't catch up during the working day. But
Yeah.
like, although I'm working beyond the normal 9 to 5, that's just what it is in the job. You just feel great
Yeah.
because you just like, I'm just progressing. Like you,
Mm.
you you feel progressive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's great, but yeah, definitely feeling not so good when you haven't got a lot to do. The
Yeah, I
gym's just
just
shut down as well. It's getting
oh
renovated, so that's just like
fuck.
another place I can't get to. I like
Is
to
there not
spend a lot
another
of time at
one
the gym.
like close enough to go to? Or?
I've been going to Rabina, so I'm just having to travel a little bit to get there.
Yeah,
But it's just not the same, Like it's
yeah.
you just have like this, well, somewhat of a structure. I talk about not having structure earlier on, but there's
Yeah.
somewhat of a structure where you can, that you're going to give some time of the day to go to the gym, and you've just smashed out 2 hours of activities and exercise, and it's like, I feel good after that.
Mm,
It's either before or after a working day, and you feel like you've either started the day off well or you've finished the day off well. So
yeah,
yeah,
and
I can't
I
wait to
just
get back to it. I
yeah,
can't wait to
bro.
get back to it.
And I describe it kind of like a snowball, right? Like if you start to do an extra thing a day, or you start to go to the gym, or you start to take on a little bit more, and you feel energized, and you're like, oh yeah, I can do this thing. Oh, I can also do this thing. And obviously there's a certain extent where you can only do so much, but I think being productive makes you more productive. Like it snowballs that way, and you feel better for also being productive. Whereas if you start to do less, it's easy for your ceiling of capacity to start to come down, where
Yeah, 100%.
it
Yeah,
snowballs the
yeah.
other way.
And then to get it back up, or like if it starts to ramp back up, especially in like just working back to real estate, if it starts to ramp back up and you just can't help it because a whole lot of people have got in touch with you about listing a property, or buyers looking for certain things, and
Yeah,
you've let your ceiling drop, you feel overwhelmed trying to like get back
exactly.
to where is super achievable, but you
Yeah,
haven't been there for a while, so you're like, whoa, like what's going on? I guess even in the gym, like
yeah,
your capacity of what you can do, whether it's the gym or whether it's going out and exercising, whether it's running or kayaking or swimming, getting back to that capacity, you're like, whoa, like I can't quite do what I did before. It's going to
yeah,
take some time to build it back up again.
yeah. But an
Yeah.
important word that you used there was that you have to do it. And I reckon that's a large determining factor of what it takes, is it has to be out of necessity. And it doesn't always have to be, but it takes much more willpower to make yourself get up at 5:30 to go to the gym or whatever it may be, or to make
Yeah.
yourself do more cold calls. But if you have to do it and you have no other option, you just get it done. You just do it. And then all of a sudden you start to go down that snowball, like I was saying. But I think it's a lot easier, ironically, when it's done out of necessity. I just have to call 50 people this week because I'm not getting any sales. I have to do it. Not like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I probably should call more people, you know?
Yeah. Or you've had open homes, and like you've just had, let's say you've got 3 or 4 different properties on in the Gold Coast at the moment, and you're getting 30 or 40 groups through every single open home. You have to call 120 groups back or
Yeah,
160 groups back. Like you've just got no choice. So you have to
yeah,
make those phone calls, and that activity just snowballs into more activity.
yeah,
But because you have to do it, like these people are expecting you to get back to them, expecting you to be in touch. I guess there's a accountability factor
yeah,
there where you have to go and do it. You've got to find that in yourself when you don't have the
exactly.
capacity
Yeah,
of thing, or where you're not at full capacity. You have to find that you need to do it for yourself to get you back to that level,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
A hun-
Like you've got to find
100%.
your own accountability in yourself. If you've got someone else accountable, or like somebody else that's holding you accountable, it's easy to get to the capacity
Yeah,
because they're pushing you. You like sometimes you just got to find it in yourself to get yourself back to the capacity you can be at.
yeah. That I couldn't have said it any better, bro. That's 100% right. Because I feel like if people are counting on me, there's just no question I'll get it done. But sometimes, it's an option. I don't have to go out for a run at 6 a.m. or I don't have to put this post up or something. I feel like that's
Mm.
when I can slip more easily. Or your brain is just so good at searching for logical reasons as to why you don't have to do something. You don't actually have to do
So
that,
true,
Like,
so true.
why? You don't have to go for a run at 6 a.m. We can just run tomorrow. Like, or you can just go to the gym and jump on the treadmill or something instead. It's a bit cold outside, or you're not
Yeah.
training for an event right now. You don't have to get on the water on your kayak or go for a swim in the morning. You're not training for anything. So that
Funny you,
idea,
yeah.
yeah, go.
Funny you say that because, like, I remember when I was younger, I swam up until I think I was like 14, 13, 14, 15, somewhere around that age. And I remember the coach at the time, she said to me, if you don't turn up for like 2 or 3 sessions in a row, you've actually lost 2 weeks of progress. So
Yes,
to get those 2 or 3 sessions back, you've got to train for 2 more weeks just to get back to where you were.
yeah,
And so like it kind of made you realize that you have to go and do it. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's a weird concept. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know whether or not that's actually true. But like by not doing something, it takes longer to get back to where you were. It's the same
yeah,
thing with the capacity again. It's like
yeah,
if you stop doing something, it takes longer to get back to the capacity of what you could do.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
so
had
interesting.
Yeah, man. And that's just a self-observation. It's always something I'm working on. But speaking to that, I had an Iron Man. His name's Matt Kerr. I chatted to him, and
Yeah,
he talked about this. If I do a good training session like today, that's going to help me for my next training session. If I don't do this training session, I'm not going to be able to complete the next training session. So that's basically exactly what you were saying. This training, yeah,
yeah,
it's for an event, but I'm actually training for the next training session. So if I miss
yeah.
this one, I'm not going to do the next one as well
Because
as
the
what I
next
should
one,
be.
yeah, 100%. The next one,
Mm,
like, I don't know what his circumstances were, but his next session might be that he needs to be doing a certain number of runs for a
yeah,
certain distance at a certain time.
yeah,
And if he
exactly.
knows that if he doesn't train today, he's not going to be able to do those times tomorrow
Yeah,
because it's going to have a physical impact on his body by not doing those exercises. Yeah, it's just, yeah, that's so interesting,
yeah,
but so true.
yeah,
And
and
I guess it's in anything like beyond
yeah,
sport,
yeah, 100%.
you
And what I was going to say, speaking to the psychological or the mental aspects, it reminds me of Huberman. He did this podcast on this area of the brain called the AMCC, and this area of the brain grows when you do hard stuff and difficult tasks, when you voluntarily confront it and get through it. And then so if this thing grows, as part of your brain grows, it makes it easier to take on more hard challenges. So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
like the I guess the neurological snowball kind of that I was talking about. If you do more hard stuff, it becomes easier to do hard stuff. Whereas the
Yeah.
reverse is true. If you stop doing hard stuff, it shrinks, so it's harder to do hard stuff. So then it
Yeah,
snowballs
okay.
in the
Yeah.
reverse. So that's what I reckon. Like speaking to not necessarily obviously the physical task still takes psychological, but if you're having to call people, that's not physically hard, but in your mind you're like, fuck, okay, I got to do 20 calls today.
Yeah.
But if you're
But if
used
you
to
don't
that,
do them today, you got to do 40 tomorrow. Yeah.
exactly, bro.
You might be able to get that done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Jeez.
But that's just an observation for me. And it's something that I'm always working on, like training without a reason. Obviously, going to the gym that's easy. That's always just part of the routine. But it's specifically just the early morning stuff. I think the UK winter was just rough though. Like it wasn't light until 8:30 in the morning and it's like 2 degrees or something. So the idea of going
Yeah.
for a run at 6 a.m. I don't know,
Mm.
man. It's pissing down with rain and it's like 2 degrees outside.
Yeah,
It's
I
just a
guess you
big,
can always find an alternative though, right? Like if you
mm,
if you can't get out and run because it's physically too cold outside to get do it, or it's
yeah,
not as effective as possibly. Like I know nothing compares to like hitting the pavement, but
mm,
you might jump on the treadmill inside where it's
yeah.
bearable.
That's why I've been doing the spin
There's
bike as well. Just also
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the running is so hard on the body as well. But I've been doing the spin bike. I've been a couple spin bikes, couple runs, and I've been enjoying it, man. Like especially on the spin bike, I listen to podcasts or whatever. I've been listening to podcasts a little bit when I go running, but
yeah.
because we have a gym in our apartment complex, so it's like a
Mm,
2 minutes from our front door. I'm in the gym in the apartment complex on the spin bike, so that's
sweet.
been good.
Yeah.
But now the sun's up at like 5:30 in the morning now, so like it's actually
What
real
was it
nice
in
to.
winter? what was the sunrise time in winter? Like 9?
Bro, it was rough. Yeah, it was like 8:45, and then
Right.
dark by 4 p.m. 4 p.m.
Yeah,
like
short
dark, like the
days.
middle of the night. But now it's light at 5:30 and still light at 9:30, and it's not even summertime yet.
Yeah, I remember being like in the Greek islands in
Yeah,
Santorini, and like just looking at the time when it was setting, when the sun was
yeah,
setting, and I was thinking like, what the fuck is this?
yeah,
Like I would back home, I'd be out to it.
yeah,
I'd be in bed.
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
be
yeah,
asleep. I'd be like 30 minutes into fucking sleeping for 7 hours. You know what I mean? Like I'd
yeah,
be,
bro.
yeah, that's just nuts. And even like when you wake up the next morning, because those the sunlight hours in summer over there are so long, it's like
Mm.
you could do your 7 hours sleep and the sun's back up again. You're like,
Yeah, yeah,
how's it been
yeah.
dark? But well, probably that's over exaggerating it, but it just felt like that. It was just like that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
just
well, I
unreal.
was looking at the like the sunlight hours or the daylight hours, and in summertime here, it technically doesn't actually go into proper nighttime. Like in the middle
Okay,
of
yeah,
summer, it's like I don't know if it's quite
it's kind of
twilight.
like the poles, right? That's kind of like each pole.
Yeah, 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 because we're so much further north than what we are in New Zealand in terms of being south. But
Yeah,
yeah, bro, I remember when we first moved over because it was this time last year, and we were accidentally staying up till like 11 p.m. We're like, oh shit, we need to go to bed, but it's like still
yeah.
sunny outside. You just lose
It's
track of
weird. You
time.
don't feel tired though, right? You don't
Nah,
feel tired.
nah. That's like
Whereas
how
like when the sun goes down, you feel tired.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like last night, we were at the supermarket at like 8:45 at night. We were like, oh shit, let's do the supermarket shopping. Then we got home and we're still mucking around. I was like, fuck, I got a podcast in the morning. I need to go to bed. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. But
Oh,
maybe
jeez.
taking it back to the sport and the physical stuff a little bit more. I know
Yeah,
that you're someone who's unfortunately had a couple of injuries throughout your time. So could you, and potentially maybe dealing with one as we speak / recovery,
yeah.
but could you maybe speak to some of the injuries that you've had and how that's kind of played a determining role in your physical activity and just your lifestyle?
Yeah, okay. So like I've done both my ACLs in
Mm,
both the left and right knee, and had the hamstring graft for both.
yeah. How
Did
did you
some
actually do
minor.
them?
So the left was wakeboarding.
Yeah.
That was about must be 6 or 7 years ago now.
Mm.
And the right one is, yeah, it's a bit of an embarrassing story. I was just playing some netball, some social
Oh,
netball.
mate, it's not
Yeah.
as embarrassing as I thought it could be.
It's
This dude,
it's hard on the knees, bro, for
bro.
sure.
I reckon indoor netball and futsal produce probably some of the most injuries in terms of ankle injuries and knee injuries. There's
Yeah,
something about
yeah.
the indoor court, and I reckon it's the stopping and starting, like the changing direction.
Yeah, well, like you come to a sudden stop as well. Like if
Yeah,
you're not used to playing netball, and I guess you just like you might have been playing, something that's free flowing like touch in the past, or basketball where you catch the ball and you carry on moving. But like with
yeah,
netball, you have to come to a stop.
yeah,
And if your knees aren't used to it, like I obviously have bad knees from doing something on the wakeboard, knowing that happened quite easily.
yeah.
I didn't really think about it, just landed awkwardly and out pops a knee, and I ripped my meniscus at the same time. And it's just
Bro,
like, yeah, you just hear it
what is
go
that
like
like in the
bang.
moment? In the moment that happens, what is that like?
So I'll speak on the first one on the left
Yeah,
knee.
yeah,
Just like warming up. It was like probably 3 or 4 minutes in to just like warming up. I've got a new board. I don't do a lot of wakeboarding. I'm not doing like flips and shit like that. But um, I was wanting to get to that point where I start doing stuff, and I just went for like a nice little warm up jump, go wake to wake, and I just like cleared the wake and landed out on the flats, and
yeah.
my knee just popped, and I wasn't too sure what had happened, but I knew I couldn't bear any weight on it,
Oh, and
and
you're
it
in the
was
water
just,
too. That's an added complication to it.
yeah, yeah. So I kind of was like, I was getting up the ladder. Oh shit, who was driving at the time? It might have been Jordan Fretwell, I think, was driving at the time.
Yeah,
Either Jordan or Matt Pickles, or
yeah,
Pickles. And I was kind of just like, oh shit, like something's wrong. I don't know what it is. I've had sprains and injuries in the past. It's probably I've just probably like sprained something.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Like I'll be all good. I'll bounce back. No worries. Got in, drove the boat for the rest of the day. This was first thing in the morning, so I just drove the boat for the rest of the day because like the boys are there to have a fun time as
Yeah.
well. So we're out
So
and
it's
about for the
obviously
day.
not super sore or anything.
No, like I couldn't bear any weight on it, but I just
Yeah.
hopped around. Like I was just
Yeah.
like, well, I can't bear any weight on my left knee. I'll just like hop around on my right knee, or like on my right leg. It's fine. Um, so I just jumped in the driver's seat. I drove all day. Obviously, didn't do any other activities. The boys got the boat on. I drove home. It was an auto, so it was my left knee, so I could drive.
Yeah.
Um, and then I went back. I didn't go to a physio. David Owen was the Kuru chiropractor
Oh
in
yeah. Yeah.
Whakatane, and I
Yeah.
just go to him for everything. I know that he's got some physio history in the past as well. So um, I hopped into his clinic the following morning. I walked out. So I was like, I haven't done anything major because I've walked out of his
I'm
clinic,
fine.
right?
Yeah.
I'm sweet. I'm all good. This
Let's
is
go to the gym.
October, November.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we went through summer to surf life saving that summer, and I like would have little episodes of instability. Like I would like my knee would just kind of buckle. I'm like, my knee hasn't recovered properly. Like it hasn't recovered fully. It'll bounce back eventually. This is still just my mindset. I haven't had
Yeah.
any scans or anything at the time. I think it got to August, September that following year being at university.
This is like
where I
8 or
was
9 months later. 10 months even. Ages.
10 months after the activity, or 2 months after the injury. And I'm at the gym at Waikato Uni, and I'm just like, my knee's still just like buckling. Like I'm walking down the stairs, like the weights room's upstairs, and I'm walking down to leave, and my knee just buckles. I was like, I should really see the physio about this. And I like lucky everything was covered. I was like with Sir Reed and that
Yeah.
through uni, so I just went and saw the physio that was through that program. And he was like, first thing he did was, I won't even like have a look at your knee or feel anything. I'm just going to get you to have a scan. And I
Yeah.
was like, shit, maybe I should have done this the first time. I got a scan, and my knees, like my ACL was like nearly, like it was like 99% like ruptured. There was like,
Oh
it was a little bit holding
man.
together, but other than
Yeah.
that, it was like basically completely snapped. Um, and I was just like, shit, this is rough. Went and saw Ian Dingwall over in Hamilton, who was my surgeon, and got that all sorted. But like, I went nearly a year
Fuck.
with
I,
having like
it must
kind
be
of a
because
bung
it's
knee.
a ligament, right? So it doesn't really have that much blood flow or nerve endings. Like if it was a tendon, you would know about it. Whereas like a ligament, I suppose, because it doesn't have the nerve endings and as much blood flow, you kind of
Yeah,
don't really feel any pain or anything like that.
yeah, exactly right. Like I know, like your ligaments and like cartilage and bits and pieces like that. Obviously, they don't get a lot of blood flow, so they're never going to heal themselves.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you're probably not going to, as you said, you're not going to feel it. You're not going to
Yeah,
notice it. People snap their ACLs and they go on the rest of their life with just without one.
yeah,
Like they just go on, carry on with sports and get shit done. There's football players out there, like at the highest of levels, who just play footy without an ACL. They've just
yeah.
worked on all the muscles around their knee, so they don't need it. Like
Supports it.
it's everything's
Yeah.
strong. Yeah, yeah.
That's wild.
So
How long was your recovery from that? I feel like I remember these because we were training together off and on when we were back in Whakatane. Like, oh no, I can't
yeah.
train, bro. I'm in a brace or whatever.
Yeah, so like normal recovery's 9 months.
Yeah,
I felt like I was back to doing most things by that point, but I jumped back on the wakeboard and I didn't injure it. I didn't do like there was nothing wrong. I just mentally didn't feel comfortable, if that
that would
makes
have been
sense.
scary, man.
Yeah. I just and there was just a few things like I didn't go back to hockey. I did go, like it took 2 years and I tried to play some hockey again, not because of my knee. I was just unfit as fuck, so I didn't
Yeah,
bother playing. I was like,
this is too hard.
I haven't got time for this. Like, I
Yeah,
know that my capacity's not where it used to be, and
yeah,
it's going
yeah,
to take
yeah.
a fucking shitload of time to get
Yeah,
that back.
yeah,
So I was kind of like, I don't want to play hockey at a level that I know I used to. Like, I don't want to play hockey at this level when I knew I could play it up
yes.
here.
You can never
And so I
go
wouldn't want
from
to go
being
back and just play it
competitive.
mediocre.
Exactly. You can't go from being competitive to playing social. Like you have one setting. It's like I have
Yeah,
to be
oh
the
yeah,
best that I can be.
100%. Yeah.
It's not like go and have a laugh and play and have a chat on
Nah,
the. Nah, it's like I'm here to win.
I'm way too fucking competitive for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like, I don't want
yeah.
to do things in halves, you know?
Exactly, bro. Yeah.
If you know you've been at this level before, you don't want to just like go and socially play it. That's
Yeah.
fucking boring
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
and tiring because you're not
Yeah.
going to train that hard.
Yeah. Just gas the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. But it took probably 18 months before I felt comfortable.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. And
And
then
then you
with the right
decided to do
knee,
the other one, yeah.
yeah, so the right knee, I had my inkling straight away. As soon as it happened, I was like, I've heard that pop before. I heard that as I hit the water. That's the same noise that my left knee made when I snapped my ACL.
Fuck.
And so I was like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do here. I was halfway through the Dancing for Life education.
Oh, was
The
that
the
then?
Yeah, so it's
Oh
like I
man.
was 6 weeks through 12 weeks of learning how to slow foxtrot, and
Yeah.
that was actually my first thought. I was thinking I have just like I've just like fucked this charity event.
Yeah.
Like I've got a person who I've been learning to dance with for 6 weeks, who's
Yeah.
also new to dancing, and in 6 weeks' time we're dancing for charity.
Oh
You
shit.
know, like Whakatane's big little, black tie event where everyone
Yeah.
dresses up fancy one night of the year.
Yeah.
And I've just gone and injured myself, and I knew I should not have played netball, and I went and did it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Because
what
I,
too?
I
You're like,
always
I'm
knew
just
in the
playing
back of my
social.
head,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and that's it. I was like, it's social. I'm going to be fine. Like, I'm not going to go and do anything stupid and hurt myself, knowing that I have shot knees,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
knowing that
Oh,
historically my knees haven't been that great. So,
yeah.
yeah, I
So
did
what
that.
what happened? Because you still ended up dancing.
Yeah, so okay, you're gonna find this so stupid. I was dancing against David On, who
Yeah.
he was also one of the business
Uh,
people in town,
yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I told David, I sent him a text and I said, I've just done my ACL, and I said to him, I feel like I've done my ACL. It's the same as what happened last time 6 years ago, and he's like, come and see me, and it was the same scenario. I hopped into his clinic, I walked out, and he was like, I'll patch it up. Like we'll make it work. We'll get you into
Take that up.
like, yeah, we'll get you into a decent enough position so you can dance because it's for charity anyway. It's not super competitive. And I'm like, fuck off, it's super competitive.
I'm
Like, I want
willing,
to win
bro.
this shit. Yeah.
I'm not
I
here
don't
to
want to dance if
participate.
I can't dance properly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so he got me patched up and I danced
Yeah.
and all went well. Um, and then I went back to a physio and had some like kind of, I don't know, like rehab or checkup. And I basically said to him, I actually just came here because I wanted to get it scanned. And he's
Yeah.
like, let me do some checks. And he said, well, I think it's your MCL. I think that's the ligament on the inside of the knee. I don't think you've
Yeah.
actually done your ACL. You're safe, but it's your MCL that's kind of got some issues. And I was like, okay, that's all right. I haven't done my ACL. Sweet as. I went 11 months before I went and got a scan on my right knee.
What?
And I
It's
was
like
like,
exactly the same as the first
exactly
scenario.
the same as the first. And it
What?
was the same thing. I was like, I don't feel 100% about this knee. And I need to get it checked out because I know I'm moving to Australia at some point and I probably
Yeah.
want to get it done on ACC
Yeah.
over here, like over there in New Zealand, because then I get obviously the surgery's covered. I got it done.
Mm.
Went and got the scan. It was with a guy, Andy Vane in Taringa, and he said, I know you've snapped your ACL, and the reason why is because it's not popping up in the scan. He said it's completely
Oh.
gone. Yeah,
Oh,
so
so
he
this
said
time you did the whole thing. It's just
yeah,
disappeared.
he said you've obviously snapped it. Like he said, you've obviously snapped it. I'm guessing like 8 months plus. You did it a while ago,
Yeah.
and it's just disappeared. Like it must have when it snapped, it just kind of like
So it
disintegrates.
retracts
Just
and
like
yeah.
yeah, just like yeah. Well, obviously like two ends that are attached to bone, from what I'm understanding.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it snapped off and then it just shriveled away, and like there's nothing there.
Oh
And so
wow.
yeah, he was like, he's like, it makes for a clean surgery because I don't have to clean anything up.
Yeah.
He's like, but you're 27, you should get it done because
Yeah.
you'll bounce back better now than what you will if you decide to do it in 10 years' time. And I was like,
Wow.
yeah, I'll get it done now because if I do decide to try hockey again or even just like going back to surf club, what I'm doing over here, running on the beach, if I've got a
Yeah.
bung knee, I'm just going to end up like finding a little bit of instability, like rolling in a pothole or something on the beach, and ended up like hurting my knee. So I was like, I'm going to get it done. I'll get
Wow.
it sorted.
So how do they do it? They just basically put in a new artificial one or something. How does that work?
So I don't know. I think there's like two parts where your hamstring might attach to your knee or in and around your knee.
Yeah.
Is that correct? You might
Yeah.
know that more than I do, being a PT.
Yeah.
So they take like a graft from each of those.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it comes from the center of where the muscle attaches to, or where does the hamstring attach to in and around your knee? Do you know?
There's
Do you know exactly
it
where?
would attach to the back of your fibula, I guess, right? Because you're
That's
right.
what.
There's two muscles in the hamstring, so it's the
Yeah,
bicep femoris. But yeah, it must be like the posterior part of your fibula.
yeah. So kind of like from where it attaches to the bone, um, they take like a graft out of the center of it. So that's got obviously both my hamstrings are now compromised.
Yeah.
But they take those two grafts and that's used as a replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they drill up through your bones, they screw it in. Yeah,
That's
yeah, it's kind of
wild, bro.
a
It's like they're doing up an old house or something, just chucking in a new door frame or something. You
yeah,
screw it
yeah.
in. Fuck. So they
Just
take it
yeah,
out of a
so that
tendon. That makes sense because a tendon would be the closest thing to a ligament, I suppose. That's the difference between a ligament and a tendon. Is ligaments bone to bone, tendons muscle to bone. But
yeah, okay, yeah,
mm,
yeah. So
wow,
what was that? Ligaments muscle to bone?
ligaments bone to bone, and a
Oh,
tendon is
ligaments bone.
muscle to bone.
Yeah, okay, yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So my hamstring tendons is what
yeah,
they would have taken it from.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then I think the way they described it is like it must scar over time and
Mm,
become a lot tougher, like a ligament. So
yeah.
like I'm not sure about the research behind it all. It fucking works. My
Yeah.
left knee feels amazing. Like
Whatever
my
they did,
right
they
knee,
did a good job.
yeah, whatever they did with my left knee, I've got no problems with it. 6 months, 6 years down the track.
Yeah,
It will take me a while to get back with the right knee. I've just got to keep doing the um, rehabilitation, just like stability exercises, activation exercises, a lot of cycling. As you said, it's like low impact, no impact on the knee. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
a lot of that just to build up strength, stability, and activation of all those muscles because I was on crutches for 6 months or 6 weeks. So
yeah.
everything felt very dormant, like it just hadn't been like activating at all.
Mm.
Yeah,
One thing, I was listening to a podcast that was focused specifically on tendons. I could actually send you it if you're interested. But one thing that's really good for tendon rehab, obviously you've had a graft taken out of it, so those are technically torn or injured, is
yeah,
heavy isometric holds, so static holds. Because what that
okay, yeah,
allows, how they described it is that if you're always doing active stuff, let's say a leg curl, that's an easy one.
yeah,
It's always going to put the load through the strongest part of the tendon. Whereas
right,
in an
okay,
isometric hold, let's say a leg curl still, but holding it
yeah,
at almost full extension, if you hold that for a while, what happens is that it will start to relax and then it can start to put load through the scarred part of the tendon. Otherwise, what happens is that it creates a scar in the tendon and then it doesn't function as well.
yeah, okay, yeah,
It's real
yeah.
interesting. I'll send you the podcast. They're actually Australian
Yeah, yeah, please do.
dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah. I've been doing like that's like the hamstring's been the most dormant. Obviously
yeah,
it's been injured during the process of the of surgery. So like I've just been standing upright and just doing like no weight curls or like
yeah,
hamstring curls, just like upright, just kind of flicking my leg up, trying to get it up towards my bum. And
yeah,
it's like it gets a lot better than like day by day. It like massive improvements. So are you suggesting that I like put weight and hold it at full? like flexion
Yeah.
or
Oh no, sorry. Almost at full extension. So it's
right?
like heavy eccentric isometric ones. So if you imagine like a bicep, so your arms like this, if you
Yeah,
loaded it at like this and then just holding it there for say 30 seconds or whatever it is, under a bit
yeah.
of load. Yeah.
So,
Under
so,
some
so
load.
doing that would help your tricep.
No, so
Would
if
it
you
at all?
think if you had a
Or your
dumbbell in your
bicep?
hand right now, your bicep is
Yeah,
working really hard. And
yeah,
so the
yeah,
bicep tendon is working hard.
yeah.
So if
Okay,
you're
yeah,
holding it there, then it's going to strengthen the scarred part of the tendon. But I'll send you the podcast anyway. And the dudes
yeah.
who do
Please
the
do.
podcast are actually based in the Sunshine Coast. I don't know
Yeah,
if you would ever want to make the trip up, but if you went up to see those dudes, they would be able to help you heaps. But
yeah. Knees over toes too is apparently another guy to look to when it comes to knees
oh
and
yeah,
recoveries and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
bits and pieces. I think he's kind of 10 or 15 years of research now. So
yeah. Oh yeah,
another
bro.
person that
It's
I got told to look into. So
yeah, and the
yeah,
guys who
I'll
I'm
watch that podcast though. That'd be good.
oh, it's so good, man. They interview a dude who's a tendon expert, and he talks about recovering from all those kind of injuries. So
Yeah,
that'd be good, man. Now,
sweet.
maybe changing tack a little bit, and we've already chatted about some business stuff, but could you talk to me about starting your own business in Whakatane at such a young age too? This is one thing that I find interesting is that you started your business in real estate at such a young age. So I'd be interested to know what that was like. So starting it and running it in Whakatane for a few years and then having to move over. Obviously, you've already talked a bit about that, but what was it
Yeah.
like starting in real estate at such a young age?
Uh, it's different in Whakatane for
Yeah.
sure. Like, well, real estate in New Zealand, I guess small towns are a lot different to the cities, but at such a young age, it's not something that we ever got taught or discussed as a career opportunity going through high school, right? Like
No, not at all.
over here in Australia, it's a massive career opportunity for a lot of young kids. So you get people coming straight out of high school, getting to the age where they can get their license and get into it. I guess for me, I did the business degree at Waikato there and was majoring in marketing and strategic management. And I had no idea where I wanted to go, but I knew I didn't want to sit in an office for
Yeah.
like 8 hours a day every single day. It just wasn't me. Like I wanted to be able to do a bit of that when when you didn't feel like talking to people, but being able to go out and meet people and see people and get off the desk, get off the chair,
Yeah.
move around, whether it's like um, like just going out, having coffees, catching up with clients, just doing stuff
Mm.
that feels beyond the desk, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like you feel a lot more like mentally healthy,
Yeah.
rather
Sounds
than
like
sitting at a
variety was something that was important.
yeah, rather than sitting at a desk every day. I think I'd just drive myself mad.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I wouldn't be in the best headspace. So I knew I didn't want to go down that path. I got chatting with mum. Probably that was where the opportunity arose. I was talking with mum about it. Hayden Austin was doing real estate in Whakatane at the time.
Yeah.
He's 3 or 4 years older than us. And I was like, shit, he's quite young to be doing real estate. That was the perception I had,
Yeah.
just like everyone else does, has a
Yeah.
perception of being, like real estate in Whakatane is your second career in life.
Yeah.
You
Like
do
middle
whatever
aged,
you're,
you've owned a few houses, have a few kids who've left like home, oh, I might get into some real estate now.
yeah, exactly. Like it seemed like everybody who's in real estate in Whakatane had a career in something else prior, whether it was banking or whether it was finance or, it might have been a different sales job.
Yeah.
It might have been something completely different. And it was a trade, where they're a bit more like, labor intense. But
Yeah.
like I was like, okay, well, I'll have this chat with Hayden. And he said to talk to his mum, who was my swimming coach when I was younger, who was also the owner and manager of Professionals at the time. So I had a
Right.
chat with Catherine and I kind of just picked her brains about it. We sat down for a coffee and then she offered me a job on the spot and said, if you're interested in it, we'll sort you out with doing your license. So we'll get your license through Professionals, and then you'll get into it. She gave me a rundown. She said it is commission based.
Yeah.
Like the the idea of being commission based was a bit scary,
Yeah, man.
but it was it was all good. Like I knew that I was at home,
Mm,
so like mum and dad were supportive of it. I wasn't
true.
exactly going out and flatting. I didn't have like a lot of expenses, so I knew that there was a bit of backing there. I had
Yeah,
some savings from working summers and all that sort of stuff. So there was
yeah,
a bit of financial comfort there,
yeah,
jumping into starting a business. And starting it in Whakatane was a lot easier than starting it anywhere else because I'd been there my whole life.
yeah.
So
Or the
I had that
locations and all that
database,
kind of
right?
stuff.
Like,
Yeah, exactly, bro.
with dad being a car salesman and owning his own car yard for 20 years
Yeah,
prior to me getting into real estate and working for Mitsubishi prior to that, they'd been Whakatane for, oh, they were there in 88, 89. So they've been
right.
there for a long time now,
Yeah,
35 years before I decided to get into real estate. So it was easy. I knew that there was like a comfort in being able to say that I'm Brad Wiley, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm like, oh, Brad Wiley. Oh, he must be. Like so many
yeah,
times I get asked, oh, you Brent's boy.
yeah,
Are you Brent's boy? And it's just
yeah,
like, as much as you're like, damn it, yeah, I am. Like, I want
yeah.
to make a name for myself, but you're so comfortable with saying like, yeah, like I am, because you know that they're getting comfort from it
Yeah,
as a client.
that's almost like branding. Like that's like you already have a
Yeah,
brand when you get into it.
if it's a free investment into the marketing of my
Yeah,
own business, so it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
it was a no-brainer. It was like it was already there. It was kind of the name's established for me,
yeah,
and that did lead on to making or having clients in the database that were purely through the relationships mum and dad had built with being
yeah,
in business in
yeah.
Whakatane many years. So,
So you gave your dad some commission on those sales, or
and
here's a box of beers.
you brought me into this world. No,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
no jokes. No, that. Yeah, we had it sorted. We had it sorted.
yeah,
Like I was very fortunate to be in a position where I could stay at home and it didn't cost me a much. It didn't cost me a lot at all to live week by week. Like,
yeah,
but I guess I made that sacrifice. I didn't go out and like flat with mates. But
yeah. True.
what sort of flatting is there to do in Whakatane anyway?
Yeah,
Probably not a lot. So
you might as
like,
well be living at home. If you're in
yeah,
Whakatane, you might as well
yeah,
be at home.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hey, so it was like it was all good. I didn't
yeah,
mind. I didn't mind that at all. It gave me a step up to get into a property as well. Like
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
save
yeah,
as much as I can. I've bought my first investment property and looking to buy another. So like it's crazy the opportunity that it's given me from kind of taking that jump into business.
yeah, man.
Um,
What was it
but
scary
back to the
dealing with hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of dollars when you first kind of jumped into it and you're like, I don't know what you were, 24, 25 or something like that? Was it
yeah,
kind
shit,
of
how old was
daunting?
I? 20, 22 when I started studying.
Yeah.
I was like fresh out of uni.
So
So I was
fresh.
like, yeah, I was fresh out of uni and I was like, yeah, why not? Like give it a go.
Yeah.
I can fall back on my degree.
Yeah.
That's the mindset I had.
Yeah.
If it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
work out, I can fall back on my degree. I just couldn't really use my degree in Whakatane. And I kind of just
Yeah.
really enjoyed Whakatane at that time,
Yeah.
like many people in our friends group.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
Definitely
nice
in
place, bro.
Yeah, like it took us to all leave to realize that it's a good spot to be. It's a good
Yeah.
spot to settle back down in. If some people have decided to do that earlier than others, but like you can always rely on going back home and being comfortable.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. But going back to the money side of it, um, yeah, it is. I guess I didn't have the
Like a
perception
gauge.
of the value, right?
Yeah.
Because I hadn't purchased property, so I didn't have the mortgage and I didn't have the the financial fear
Mm.
that other real estate agents might have because they've been through it and they've gone through the tough times of having a mortgage with a high interest rate of 20%,
True.
and possibly going into a market where their equity in their property has fallen into negative equity based on global events which have like just massively impacted everyone. Like cost of living's gone up. They've been
Yeah.
through it all, so they've got all their war stories. But for me, I was so just like, it's sort of like I just had no like I
This
had no
house looks
fear.
cool.
I had no
Yeah, yeah,
fear about
yeah.
it though, if
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense. Like the value thing didn't put me off
Yeah,
because I had nothing to compare it to.
yeah.
I had no like perception to compare it to
Mm,
of value, so I just was more comfortable with learning what I wanted to become an expert in, which was statistics,
yeah.
and go down that path. So every
Mhm.
time a client dealt with me, yes, I'm dealing with the like majority of people's biggest asset. I'm being chosen for my service based on what I'm projecting as my service that I can provide,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
isn't my service wasn't, I understand where you're coming from. I've been through it before. I'm here to support you because I know what you're going through right now. Mine was, I've looked at the data of like I've seen what the market's been doing for the last 6 months. I know every single sale in the area.
yeah.
I understand marketing and I understand the psychology behind dealing with buyers and sellers. Like
Mm,
I went down a path that provided possibly a slightly different service,
yeah. And it
and
also
so
sounds more objective. And ironically, you're not coming into it with any confirmation bias that might not actually be true. It's only your previous experience of buying houses, not necessarily what the data itself is saying.
100% for sure, without a doubt, it's you're providing a service to somebody who is either going to like you or not.
Mm,
That's a big thing. Dad always said to me, like, if you're going into a sales job, just be yourself because
yep.
people deal with people,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's ultimately what it comes down to in a sales job.
Mm,
Like, if you understand your service or your product, that's the most important thing. Having knowledge behind it and know what you're doing and know why you're doing it is like that's massive. But you've also just got to be yourself.
yeah. And it's
If
relationship
people,
first. The first
oh,
thing you should do is try and build
100%.
relationship. Yeah.
The biggest criticism that real estate agents get across the industry is like yes they might have achieved a great result and an awesome outcome for both the buyer and the seller, but the biggest criticism in the industry is that the real estate agent didn't communicate with me enough.
Mm,
They didn't talk to me
interesting.
enough, and that comes down to the relationship thing. Like it comes
Yeah.
down to like, do you understand what your seller wants? Do you understand what your buyer wants?
Mm,
Like have you established that right from the word go? Did you ask them like how many times they want to be contacted in a week?
yeah. Not
You know, have,
assume, right?
yeah, exactly. Like they're
Yeah.
not the same person that you might have sat down with 2 hours ago. They're somebody
Yeah.
completely different.
And they're different to
You know,
you. Just because you only want a phone call once a month, what if they want a message
oh,
twice a week or a phone call once a
y-
week or whatever?
oh, exactly. Some people list their property and they say, don't, I don't need to be contacted. Flick me through the vendor's report on an
Yeah.
email every week. That's awesome. Don't like, it's not don't bother calling me, but like talk to me when there's an offer on the table, or
Yeah.
like we'll
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end of we'll
When
talk at
it's
the end of
important.
at the auction or the tender campaign.
Hmm.
We'll chat then. But other than that, I'm busy. I've got my shit to do. I've got a
Yeah.
business to run, or I've got I'm in this role, so like I can't talk to you during the day because I've got to talk to other people during the day. Like some people are just
Yeah.
like that, and then some people want to text when any little bit of information on their property happens. Like if we
Yeah.
get inquiries, they want to know about those
Mm.
inquiries on the day.
Someone drove past your house and looked at the real estate sign out the front.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, oh,
exactly.
thank you for the info.
Uh,
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of personal training. Like when I was running
mm,
my PT business in Wellington, always relationship first. Like if you couldn't build a solid rapport with someone, and I suppose maybe it's different again because you're seeing this person every week and having to offer them a service. But if you can't build a relationship, it's just not going to go anywhere because like the
oh,
relationship just has to come first.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Like, don't don't change who you are
Yeah.
to 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 work with that client. Like some people do,
Mm,
and it can backfire really badly
yeah.
because something happens and then you aren't who you were supposedly making out to be, and all of a sudden it's just chaos. Like
Exactly.
you've tried to adapt who you were to satisfy this particular client, and then shit's hit the fan, you've changed back to who you are, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you were never, like you were never true, you were just
Yeah.
fake,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. You
And it
weren't
was like,
your
just don't
authentic
change who you
self.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And how I'd like describe it as well is that it's not just a one-way interview. Say if I'm having a consult with a potential client, and I guess it's like a job interview or whatever as well, but it's an interview both ways. Like I have to be a good
yeah,
fit for you, but you also have to be a good fit for me too. I'm not just going to sit here and try and be someone that I think you want me to be. If we're not going to be a good fit both ways, then let's not pursue anything because
yeah. Oh,
we're not
without
going
a
to get
doubt.
everything out of it. So if you're not your authentic self, then yeah, well, inevitably it's going to come to fruition or come to light, like you say, especially if something goes bad. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's a two-way thing. It's not you're like, please be my client, please be my client. It's both ways, you know.
yeah. Employ me to sell your house, please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Regardless of anything. It's like, no,
exactly.
like it's more headache than anything.
Yeah,
You're better off putting time and energy into the clients that that you gel with
mm,
and that gel with you than you are just trying to like satisfy everybody in the
yeah,
marketplace. Yeah, it's one of those things that probably takes some learning. Like you
yes,
have to experience it for yourself to realize, hey, that was probably not the client for me,
exactly.
and I was probably not the real estate agent for them.
Mm,
They needed somebody else, and that's always a question I ask when somebody gets me in, as well as another couple of real estate agents from different companies, different agencies, and they might be discussing our commission structure and marketing and different costs and expectations. And I always ask them, like, am I a good fit for you?
yeah.
Like, do you feel like I'm a real estate agent that you could work with? Do you trust the process that I've discussed today?
Mm,
And if they don't feel comfortable, or that they aren't comfortable with you, like, don't try and convince them otherwise, because
no,
it might be that somebody else has walked through the door that's had a chat with them and they gel with them better
yeah.
because their um their ideas align.
Mm,
And it's like, hey, look, ultimately it's better for you to go with them because you're going to get the service that you require, and that's going to be a better outcome,
exactly.
because the figure at the end of the day is not always the outcome for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's the service that they get. It's the it's that after sales service as well, and it's the possibly repeat business that comes from it
Hmm.
that people benefit from both ways. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's not just like in the moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is something that we kind of learn from growing up in a small town and being so connected to people. I wonder if it's somehow related. But I
Mm,
just find that as well, that people and having a solid relationship with a potential client or even people at work or whatever it is, it's just always at the forefront. And I don't know if that's just a personality trait or just coming from a place where you're not just a number. Like it's really important.
yeah,
People are really
true.
important. I don't know. I've never really thought about it like that, but
No, that's a good point, because I feel like I could not have been a good real estate agent in not in the Gold Coast, sorry, in Auckland.
yeah,
I just felt like there was too much of like
yeah,
people being fake,
mhm,
like, like, that's to put it bluntly, I guess,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
like somebody would just change who they are for those 5 minutes that they talk to that client to please
yeah.
that client, when
And
really there was
that's the
somebody out there who was just
cliche.
better fit.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the cliche salesman too. You're like, is this
Yeah,
person being authentic with me, or are they saying that this is a really nice car and I should buy it and then it's safe and fuel efficient, or are they just talking shit because they want to make the
yeah.
sale?
We get a bad rap, brother.
Yeah, yeah,
Real estate
yeah.
agents of I won't
I
even
think
go there, bro. I won't even go with
it's
what the
just
saying is.
it's just stereotypes, though. Eh?
Oh,
I
it
don't know.
is 100%. And like, it's funny when I introduce myself to people over here and say I'm a real estate agent, I get the funniest looks. It's like,
Really?
yeah, they go, "Oh, you're a real estate agent." Like, probably look at me going, "Fuck, you're a prick."
Yeah, this fucking
Like, you are
asshole.
a fake motherfucker.
Is that your Merc parked out front, or?
Yeah. There's mercs all over the Gold
Yeah,
Coast in a real estate agent car.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I bought a nice Hyundai Kona.
Yeah, you sent me the photos.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah, that
nice,
was
man.
practicality.
Yeah,
I haven't gone with
got
the
your
Merc.
face and the logo on the side
Hell
of it, or
no.
no,
I
you
don't know if
haven't.
I'll be able to get my. I don't know if I'll be able to get the company logo on this one because I don't know if she'll like approve of my driving, and I'm kind of
Oh,
representing the
true.
company. You know.
You're a little boy
Yeah.
racer.
Some.
It's
You know.
not as fast as the GTO though, is it?
Nah. No. No. No.
No, that's unfortunate.
Nothing's as fast as that.
No, mate, that's like an airplane taking off.
And until I line up next to Zach Fretwell in his dad's car.
Yeah, that was that the Jag.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. See you
And then I
later.
realized it was pretty slow.
Yeah, yeah. Not that you ever
uh,
did that or anything. That would be
no.
irresponsible. In
What are
theory.
those? What are the YouTubers say? It's they're in Mexico when they do it. I think that's where they
Oh
are.
yeah, that's where
It
you
must have
went,
been
right?
in Mexico when I
Yeah,
did it. Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. One thing I'd be interested to chat to you about before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we're saying, we've been mates for a while now. Probably, what is it, 15 years or something like that, if we go back to something like year 9.
Yeah, 14,
Yeah,
15
14,
years.
15
Yeah.
years. I've written down some, but I'm interested to know what are some of your highlights or things that we've done together since we've been mates. I got a few written down, but I'm interested to hear some of yours. If you obviously you're put on the spot a little bit, but
Yeah, there'll be a few things that you reflect on where I'll be like, oh my God, that reminds me of this as well, because that's
yeah,
always the case.
yeah.
Crate days are always a fun one.
Oh
I think
yeah,
there's been a lot of
that's
there's
not
been a
one I
lot
had
of
written down. That's a good one.
crate day with the boys is always a good one. Sorry, mate, I'll just get this
You're
1
good.
second. Turn that back on to non-silence mode or whatever it is, noise cancelling.
Yep.
So I can hear myself speak.
Oh yes, that's good.
Yeah. Crate day is always a fun one. Like it's just happened year on year. There's been like so many different crate days that we've done as a group.
Yeah,
I think me and you, from individual point of view, is probably um, being in the leadership role in year 13 as prefects and obviously head boy yourself and me and Zane as deputies. That was quite cool. I think
yeah,
we
man.
learned a lot in that year,
Yeah,
you know, from like a leadership perspective.
definitely.
Um, that was you can always look back at that and go like I learned a lot,
Yeah.
you know. And I think we
That,
got a lot closer that year as well,
yeah, well, there's so many
you
things
know.
that we were collaborating on, and yeah, I would agree. I think that was
Uh,
definitely the year that we became a lot closer because we just, I guess,
yeah,
just were doing a lot more together.
you and I grabbed a photo with Greg Murphy.
Oh, mate, that
Um,
was good.
yeah, that when he came and visited, we obviously
Yeah,
did the Shave for a Cure together.
yeah,
You know, there's things like that, and then we have obviously trained out of MMA together, the
yeah,
MMA centre doing the weights and that there.
yeah,
That is always a good throwback. Me, you, and Josh.
yeah,
Hello, like Cam Holmes and Kevin Arnold to 221. Cheers.
You
yeah,
know,
man.
Josh joining us, and sometimes me joining you when I was slacking off and having to come back and join you and Josh. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of different activities. The most recent one coming over to Europe and seeing you guys and doing Budapest for 6 days.
yeah, bro.
That was definitely like a highlight. You
That's
guys
so
touched
sick.
on it in the podcast,
Yeah,
and I was like, that's unreal. That's
yeah,
sick. Like it just seeing the photos, seeing
yeah,
the I love Budapest shirt, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, damn, that is like that's a. Although it was only last year, I was like, that's
Yeah.
a fucking sick memory.
It's
I was
like the
like, that
further
is,
away you get away from it, the more in hindsight you're like, holy shit, that was actually crazy that we were
yeah,
in Budapest with all of us at something like that
yeah.
to get.
And as you guys said, it was like, we're at a festival, and I didn't even think about it like that. We're at a festival where it was doubling the population of Whakatane's wider
Yes.
district. I was like,
Yeah.
that's fucked. We're all in
Yeah.
this one
Yeah.
field at Macklemore.
Yeah.
Was it Macklemore?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, it was just, that was a sick memory. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
interested to hear what yours are.
Yeah. So I had a bit more time to think about it. A lot of ours actually very similar. I had obviously the training together, head prefects and Zaget. Two that I've written down that stand out to me. which relates to being head prefects, is going on OPC together.
Yes,
I reckon
yeah,
that was so fun, man. I think that was
yeah,
a
that's
really good
right.
experience at the end of year 12 or the beginning of year 13, whatever it was.
Yeah, as the group, as a group of
Yeah.
prefects for the following year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that was so much fun, man. And I
for
reckon
sure. I remember opening right up at that. I remember opening right up
yeah,
at that.
when we had to take the blade of grass over the wall.
Yeah, geez,
Yeah. So
that's
that's like
that's a
one
memory.
thing that
Holy
just
shit.
stood out to me. Yeah, man. So that one, I feel like that was, I don't know, quite important for both of us doing that.
Showing, yeah, that was that was me opening right up, I think, like that was me just being like super vulnerable. But
yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say,
yeah,
like the power of vulnerability. And
yeah, it
it's
was
just so
fuck like
important.
it was nuts. Like everyone was just like, well, like
Yeah,
silence
yeah.
after that. Everyone's like, damn, that's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was one
Mm.
that stood out to me a lot. It's Chloe looking in my meeting room. Yeah, man. OPC, specifically that moment stood out for me, like
Mm.
opening up and being so vulnerable. Obviously, we did Tongariro crossing and the rafting and heaps of shit there that
Yeah.
probably also brought us closer together. And then I
Yeah.
only had one other thing on
But it
here.
brought us closer to sorry, it brought us closer
Yeah,
together with our with a whole bunch of people in our year group too.
yeah,
You know? Like that was
definitely.
it was a neat experience and we all I think we kind of came back and we were like this cool little tight knit group like joining like
Yeah,
starting year 13. It was sick. And I think it
yeah,
kind of brought heaps of people together. It brought
yeah.
like it brought the whole year group together, I think, like because we all had those connections and relationships
It
from that.
did, and because
Yeah.
it's actually quite a diverse group too. Like there's quite a few people in
100%.
there who might not have normally hung out potentially, but like
Different
a lot of,
social
well, I guess,
circles,
yeah,
different
quite a few of us
sports.
were close, but it was still quite diverse. It wasn't just all from one group and going
Yeah.
away, and then it's all like this little insular group. It actually, yeah, I think
Like
you're
any
right.
school,
Actually,
it's got your own, like everyone's got their own little pockets of like
exactly.
people that they align with, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
because
a good way to
Matt
put it.
came on that too, eh? Matt Fruitwell.
Met Freewell? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember
Me, you,
because there were some last
Freddie,
minute changes. I think.
Zane. Was Zane on there? Zane was
Nah,
there.
I don't think so. I think wasn't it was it Luke, Searle, and Zane couldn't make it or something?
Luke went to St. Peter's.
Yeah, because
That's right, eh?
I
Was
think so.
Lucas?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he
was
was
it?
there because him and Nathan played against Trident in the year 13s
Yeah,
for the footy.
I think he was supposed to come or something. For some reason in my mind, I have it
Mm.
that he was supposed to come. But yeah, anyway, in terms of me and you, that
Sick
was
part of the
one.
North Island too.
Yeah, exactly. Like the national
Yeah.
park there, and that was so much fun, man. And one aspect of that, I don't know why it's in my head, but do you remember when we went like had to set up our own little tent and shit? And when we got dropped off by that van, and didn't you have like a sick ass watch that had a GPS on it or something?
Oh yeah, I had my Garmin.
Yeah,
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 that's right.
yeah. You were
Had my
like,
Garmin from training with the heart
yeah,
rate monitor and everything.
yeah, because we weren't allowed to use our phones to navigate. You're like, nah, fuck, I got the
Oh,
GPS on my
that's
watch.
right.
Well,
That's
that's
right. I
wild.
remember that. And we had to find our way back to camp.
Yeah. And then we set
Yeah.
up our camp and stayed in that bivvy that night. And I think it must have been me and you were closer to the middle, and Matt was on the outside, and he got fully soaked, and he was so wet that his jocks were
Oh,
wet.
that's right.
Like he was so wet that his jocks were wet in the morning. Oh
Yeah.
fuck.
That's right. I remember that now. Geez, you've
Mm.
got a good memory, hey? You've
Oh,
got
thanks,
such a good
bro.
memory. I guess you've had time to think about it.
Yeah, all of those ones are just coming to me now though, like OPC and specifically opening up with the main ones, but the tent and the van and the watch and stuff, it kind of just it comes back as you're
We
talking about
had
it.
to do, was there rock climbing or what's it called?
They were abseiling.
Abseiling. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had to do that high ropes course where there was like
And Kahu.
yep,
Remember
Kahoot.
we got Kahu to abseil in the end and was she freaking out? Was it her or Grace?
Maybe it was her. I don't know. The thing I was remembered about Kahu is how she was boosting it on the way back down from the Tongariro crossing. She was like ages ahead of
Yeah,
us.
that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, she was just like on her own mission,
yeah, yeah, man.
which is good.
Yeah, that time was so sick. That was a lot of fun. And then the only other thing that I've gotten down here, all the other ones I had down was 4-wheel driving in the dunes in the Jeep.
Getting stuck.
That was so fun. There was that one summer. Was it the end of 2015? Maybe it might have been. I think when you had the Jeep and us just boosting around in the dunes and in Gregor's truck in the moo as well.
It was 2014. It was 2014.
Or was it 2014?
It was wild because I had it when I was at high school.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and then Greg's moo.
Yeah.
Greg's Isuzu moo. Jeez.
Yeah. Where the seats in the back weren't bolted down, so when you go over a bump, you smack your head on the roof.
Out towards is it like Thornton? You head towards Thornton from the golf club, eh?
Yeah.
That was fun, and I got it stuck.
Yeah.
You were in there, right?
Whereabouts was that? I can't remember.
It's the mud hole out on the other side of Whakatane River, just like as you're heading up to Coastlands.
Yeah. I don't think I was there. You got it stuck.
No, okay.
How did you
turn left? Do you know where everyone used to go whitebaiting?
Yeah.
Before they closed it?
Yeah, I know the area you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had to get, I think Gregor had his truck, and then Brandon Young grabbed his dad's truck, and they had to tow me out. I was bogged. I was deep. Yeah,
you had like proper muddies on that too, though, didn't you? Like that must have been pretty hard to get that thing stuck.
So it had a screwdriver as the gear selector.
Oh yeah.
And behind the wheel, and then down on the 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, and all the diff locks and everything, it had a wrench. So I didn't know where everything was. So I had open dips. So all it did was it just spanned the one wheel. So I think in hindsight I found where the diff lock was, where 4 low with diff lock was. So I think I might have been able to get out of it then. But even though it's just still funny. It's just good missions, good laughs. Yeah. Started raining and I was just like, this is just turning into a nightmare. Thankfully the boys are here to tow me out.
Yeah. Oh no, I wasn't there for that. Damn, I wish I was. That sounds pretty funny though.
I got some photos. I'll send them to you.
Yeah, flick them through. I'll remember to send that podcast too. Actually, I'll write it down. Podcast.
Shit, time does fly by talking on here, doesn't it?
But yeah, this is actually one of the longest podcasts I've done. And do you have time for one more, Christian? Just 100%. Pretty quick one. Mm. So we've obviously done a lot of retrospective stuff, looking back, but I'd be interested to hear a little bit about your upcoming goals and what the future looks like for you. Obviously, you just moved over, so you're kind of in a little bit of chaos and finding your feet and all that kind of stuff. But what's sort of on the horizon for you, and what are you looking forward to coming up?
That's a deep question that I haven't even thought about, to be honest.
Well, now you can think about it.
Think about it on the spot. I'd say
doesn't have to be anything too extravagant or anything. Just like general kind of idea, what do you want to achieve?
I want to, what does it want to compete at the 2036 Olympics?
Buy a sick as Mercedes.
As a 40-year-old.
I want to have a Lambo this year.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be unreal. No, I think for me, like financial stability is always one. I know some people find it hard to talk about like money as a goal. Yeah. I don't think it's like, it doesn't have to be so much the money that's the goal. It's more like what financial stability can provide you. Yes. Like getting your first house. I don't know if you saw, like a couple of friends of ours just purchased their first home, like unreal. Like that just brings like, so much joy to me. I'm just like, that's unreal. That's like a massive like step, to like get your own place and you just kind of start climbing that ladder, which is, it's a massive feat. But for me, financial stability is always a goal of mine. Yeah. Being comfortable, getting myself to the point where when I have children, my children can do what I did growing up, because I think my parents sacrificed a lot in their upbringing to give us opportunities to do all the sports and try all the things that we did back in Whakatane without having to turn and say like, no, sorry, we can't afford it. You can't do that. Like they were able to allow us to try things, and I'm super grateful for that. And I'd love for my kids to be able to experience that exact thing.
Yeah.
So getting myself to a position where I can do that will just be like, that's like life set kind of thing. That's like a long-term goal Short-term goal, want to get the business going, like want to get on my feet with real estate here in the Goldie, have a few listings under my belt, get busy, build that capacity, bits and pieces like that. Surf club's another big one.
Oh yeah.
Want to get back into surf here. Traveling to the Mount to train for surf lifesaving in Whakatane was just too hard, like because the working hours are all over the show.
Yeah.
There's an hour and a half each way with traffic, so being able to go 15 minutes 15 minutes from home, being on the beach.
Courtney's into it too, eh?
Yeah, so she's in the IRB side, so her season starts now. The craft season just finished.
Yeah.
So the summer of surf season and Aussies have just happened last weekend. So Courtney's IRB season's now for like 2 months, 3 months, which is cool. So we'll both be able to, kind of support each other there and watch our seasons go by year. But getting back on that surf ski is like a massive sporting goal or activity goal for me. Getting my knee sorted, playing some golf over here. I don't know. You need to get into some golf, man. It's like all the boys are playing it.
It's so funny you say that. There's this dude at work, and the other day there's a mean like driving range out. He's like, "Bro, do you want to go to the driving range with me sometime?" I'm like, "Yep," because I see the boys like playing golf,
Right.
and it's just something that I've never like even done. Like I've gone to the driving range, played pitch and putt, and that kind of shit. But it's so funny that you say that because I want to go out to the driving range, and it's so cheap here. It's like £8 or something. And you can play virtual courses, and it's all like laser.
Oh, right. So you're on the screens with you're on the what do they call them? Like TrackMans and stuff like that. With course setups. That's sick.
Yeah. So I'm trash at it. I'm not good at it at all. But it's so funny you say that because I want to get better.
Everyone's trash at golf to begin with. Like like if I could give anybody like one word of advice when it comes to like trying out golf, is like, if you find the idea of it fun, like go and get 2 lessons, like just 2 lessons, and just say you're an absolute beginner, like you just want to get into it and you want to know like the basic thing I can do to like work on. Go and get 2 lessons, and a pro will just get you through doing the right thing right from the word go. Yeah. And then you like golf becomes like so much fun right off the bat, rather than being this frustrating thing where you go, I'm so bad at it, I can't even get the ball off the ground. I'm not even going to bother playing, because you just miss out on so much fun if you don't just take up golf.
Interesting.
Like,
that reminds
everybody can play it for their whole life. All the boys are playing it. Whakatane's got a mint course whenever you're back in Whakatane. Or anywhere in New Zealand's got a mint course, to be honest. So, yeah.
I was going to say that reminds me of doing snowboarding lessons when we were in the South Island last. And I just recommend it to everyone. Do like a day snowboarding lesson. You can stop, you can turn, you feel comfortable, you're not falling over every 2 seconds. And it sounds like that. If you do an hour or 2 hours, whatever, of a lesson, all of a sudden you can hit the ball in a straight line. You're not shanking it into the barrier at the range, or like you're not smacking the ground every time. Yeah.
Getting the ball off the ground. Though.
You're not playing mini putt with it the whole time.
Honestly, you watch it and you go, oh, that that must not be that hard, like it must be quite an easy activity. And then you go and play and you're like, how, like everyone tries to scoop the ball because that's the, like, you think like, oh, I've got to get the ball off the ground. It's just like, just go and get a lesson. They'll teach you what to do. You'll get the idea of it and you'll be away. We just went and picked up some clubs for Courtney. So nice. Courtney and I can play 9. So in a month's time, I can play golf again. And we'll go and play like 9 holes in the morning, because it's sun up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock here. So yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah, it's so funny you say that though. Literally in the past few weeks, I've been thinking about it. Like, oh man, I want to get good at golf. So maybe I should do it, because that driving range is super close to us as well.
Yeah, I know we talk about ourselves, but like you're talking about the people coming on the podcast. But what are your goals? It's a mace potty, so
here we go.
I've got to hit you with the hard question.
Flip it on me. Well, that financial security one is something that I resonate with a lot, and I think it is something that, I don't know, maybe it's just our friend group or just people in general don't talk about it too much, But it's interesting that you say that, because I've been watching quite a bit of stuff, and mostly this year, to be honest, or the past year, about finances and tips for managing them and what you should do in terms of saving and investing and all that kind of stuff. But it's a catch-22, because obviously we're over here and wanting to travel too. So
Yeah.
setting
you,
the
like,
budget up that allows for enough spending on travel, but then also saving, because when we come back to NZ, we don't want to just bottomed out our bank accounts because we want to go to Italy every weekend or something, you know? So it's about
yeah.
having that balance of, having lots of fun and traveling, but also setting ourselves up for like a good financial future too.
Learning's free though, right? You know, like,
Right.
you don't like,
YouTube,
because you're not
podcasts.
practicing right
Yeah.
now, like, but obviously you're over in the UK and you're in Europe and you've got a restricted amount of time to be there with a visa. So like, although you might not be able to save as much as you want to, you can still learn,
Exactly,
as
bro.
you said, you can still start learning about these things and implement them at the time in your life where you are able to
Yeah.
a lot
Or
more
just
comfortably. So
on a smaller scale too, but the good thing is that over here, because we don't pay for any commuting to work, we don't even own a car because
hey.
I put my thumbs up, don't even own a car. So it's actually that money that would typically be spent on those outgoings can actually just be funneled into traveling. So it's not super expensive, but obviously traveling is still a priority. So last year we traveled basically every month that we were here, but
Yeah.
this year we're wanting to go for more quality maybe over quantity or frequency.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
in July, Jamie, Chloe's cousin, we're going to meet her. My mum's coming over for a few weeks too. Obviously some of the boys are coming over, like Hamish and Andy, Kevin. So trying to hopefully be able to see them somewhere. And then so that's the
Is Kev
traveling.
back again? Is Kev back over there?
Yeah, he's planning to,
Sweet.
like August, September. So that's the exact time that everyone else is over. Andy and Sonia coming
Yeah.
for like 3 months or something.
Cool.
But
That's good.
yeah, and same with Hamish and Brett. They're obviously coming over because Hayden's in the Olympics. So
Is it Zaget 2.0 for you?
we've been talking about it, but I don't know. We're just thinking that would be at
Fred
least
again,
like,
Fred again, and Fisher.
I know, bro. There's some, and Sam Smith as well. He's there too. Chloe loves him, but
Oh.
we just think we'd spend at least £1,000 going to that. Could we spend £1,000 going
Yeah.
to somewhere new that we haven't been before?
Inexperienced. Yeah.
But we might end up going for 4 days. I don't know. It could still happen, but we haven't booked it in.
Yeah.
But
You
we
can book
just
the 3-day passes for the days that you want to if they're still available. Like that's like quite a good
True.
thing about Zaget. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a maybe. It's not a no. It was a no, and then it's changed to a maybe. So it could still happen. If we did
That's always with the boys. It's
I
a
know,
no,
right?
and it's a no until the arms twisted,
And then it's like,
it's a maybe,
oh,
which
fuck.
ends up being a yes.
Yeah, we would do it. I think if we could tee it up with something else, like if we were in
Yeah.
Budapest and then we're going to catch a train to wherever, or we're going to catch a flight from Budapest to here. So it's still a possibility.
You could jump on one of those canal boats that you sleep on.
Yeah,
Go
true.
like up the rivers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know how far they go. I didn't exactly know where that river started and finished, but
Yeah, that would
there's
be
obviously
fun.
people traveling on those in different
Yeah.
spots around Hungary. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then probably on the way back home, when we come back home, we'll probably do a trip we really want to do Egypt, Turkey, and Morocco. Those are big three that we really want to do. So,
Yeah.
and then,
So that's is it on like the cusp of Africa?
yeah, Turkey is obviously far east
Oh
Mediterranean.
yes. Yeah.
And then Egypt is South Mediterranean, but obviously Africa. And then Morocco is the far northwest side of Africa as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, just for the history, like those ones would be sick. But
Yeah,
then outside
that
of
would be
those
cool.
goals, podcast, the goal this year is to publish an episode once a week, starting from February. And so far I've done that, except for the mine and Chloe's one. I wanted to put more effort into putting more photos and videos. So
Yeah.
that's one I missed this week. And well, not this week, but this year intentionally, because I wanted it to be a bit better.
Yeah.
And yeah, just keep up the training. Want to book in either a marathon or a half marathon as like a destination thing, like go to Spain and run a marathon or something.
That's
and then
cool.
maybe one other thing. I was thinking a powerlifting comp, but I might be running out of options for that. But I'd like to compete in 2 things this year.
Is bodybuilding on the cards again?
when we come home potentially, I think it's far too restrictive to try and do that over here. And it's exactly like you were saying with hockey. I don't want to step on stage and, I don't know, participate. I want to step on stage and know that I might not win, but I've done everything that I can do to put myself in the best position to win. So maybe when we're back home, but those are the kind of plates I'm spinning. And then doing something business-wise as well is always in the back of my mind, like maybe towards the end of the year, taking on some clients or something like that, personal training clients.
Okay, back into that a bit more.
Yeah, but in an online capacity. But podcast and traveling really are like the main things on my plate at the moment.
Yeah,
man.
Cool. The long-term goal with the boys is for all the boys to get into something together. That would be a cool idea.
Yeah. Like what? Like business-wise? Do you mean?
Yeah, I think like an investment-wise, like making sure like if the boys are interested, like all the boys investing in something that's like paying off for everybody in the long run.
Yeah, bro.
Or a group of boys that want to do it, but
yeah. Like I remember when was it you selling that house, or was it just for sale in Whakatane? That was like a sick house in Ohope that was like a mansion, and we joked about buying it. Was it you selling it, or did I just? No, I feel like it was you selling it.
Yeah,
was it like white and like 4 or 5 bedrooms or something, and like
it was on Harbour Road. Yeah. I sent the video into the chat.
Yeah, that's right. Imagine that, bro. That would be pretty funny.
Yeah, that would have been cool. $1.6 million later.
Yeah.
Don't know where the boys had that money.
I've got $200. Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right.
Very good, bro. Very good.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Can't wait to see you again in person sometime, whether that's
100%
over here in Aussie and New Zealand. I don't know where or when it'll be, but it'll be sometime in the future.
Yeah, it won't be coming to Europe anytime soon. We've got heaps of traveling back to New Zealand, but I appreciate getting me on. That was sick. That was a good catch up because we haven't had a good catch up in a while. So
exactly, man. I want to get each of the boys on at some point. Obviously, Dane, Caleb, now you. I think it's such a cool opportunity. Like, how often, other than when we're sitting down having beers, like how often do we actually sit down, not distracted, not have our phones out, just actually sit down and have a chat?
What do you mean? No.
I've been scrolling TikTok this whole time. Hold up, bro. Just got a message.
It's nice. Good, bro. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been good fun, and I enjoyed watching the one with you and Caleb. I was like, when I get on there, it'll be nice. It'll be like good to chat about it, and it's actually cool to see the boys in a different capacity, like talking about different things.
Yeah,
like like kind of like life goals and different topics.
Yeah,
like rather than just like the general chit chat when all the boys are together. You never really talk about like something a little bit deeper. So,
and that's funny that you bring that up, because that's something that I would love for us as a friend group to do more, is chat about what we want to see or to have in our future as well. Talking about our goals and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of power in it, and I think there's just something so important about chatting to people who you're closest with about things that you want to achieve. Getting engaged, getting their ideas, whatever it is.
Yeah, and you care about them too, right? Like that's why I'm like I care about the boys, and I want like all of them to do well. Like I want every single one of them to like thrive. So like it's nice to bounce sort of certain ideas off everybody and include everybody and get people talking about these things. So yeah, interesting.
Bloody oath, mate. All right, once again, I appreciate you. Thanks heaps for making it happen. I know you've got
you too.
Guests over for dinner, so I'll let you go.
I could hear them laughing a couple of times. They might be laughing at me on the comms.
Oh, I can't hear them. That's good.
That's all good. I put a towel. at the bottom of the elder door. So we're all
smart.
Good. Yeah, mate. Thinking about these things. Alrighty, cheers, bro, legend.
Yeah, no worries, bro. Appreciate it.